Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Schuberth C5. If you're not familiar with Schuberth, Schuberth is a German-made company known for their premium helmets. They make motorsports helmets, police helmets. They also make motorcycle helmets. So this is the C5. This is their modular touring helmet, in my opinion. And most people's opinion, arguably, this is one of the premier helmets of motorcycle touring. This competes directly with the Shoei Neotec 3, which is a helmet that I also own. Full disclosure, Schuberth did provide me with this helmet for review. They don't provide me with a script. They have not seen this video before release. So all my opinions and everything are my own. So like I said, this is the Schuberth C5. This comes in at $769 in a solid color and $869 if you want some of the graphics and design. I spent about 500 miles in this helmet already in multiple conditions. Nice days, hot days, rain. So I've really had a chance to try it out in all conditions. So the thing that's really known, or the thing that Schuberth is really known for, is quiet. This helmet is an extremely quiet helmet. Depending on who you watch on YouTube, it's rated as one of the #1, #2. It's certainly in the top 2 to 3 helmets of the quietest helmets available on the market. It comes in at, I want to say, 85 decibels, which is below the point where you'll have hearing damage. If you are going to tour, I always suggest wearing headphones, earplugs rather, but really that's a decision. Touring around town and so forth, I had no ringing in my ears. The highway, like I said, I personally tend to wear earplugs, but it is rated as being that quiet. Quiet, of course, is subjective. This is going to come in 2 sizes, from from small, or extra small as it were, to large is going to be 1 shell size. This is a medium. This is a size large of 59. And then the XL to 3XL is going to be a separate shell size. So the downside of that, and all manufacturers pretty much are doing this, is if you have an extra small to large, it's the same shell size. So depending on your size of your helmet, it could be a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, proportionally on how it looks on your head. Doesn't change performance, but it's just something to think about. This is going to come out at 1660 as far as grams. That weighs in at 3.66 pounds. That's in shell size 1, which is your extra small all the way to large. And then shell size 2, which is XL all the way up to 3XL, comes in at 1810, or about 3.9 pounds. This is made of an XPS material, so it is extremely durable. It is also only DOT rated in the States. It is not some of the other ratings. Some people have kind of gone back and forth about that. It's really what you're comfortable with. I don't have a problem with that, and I think that the premium helmets that are coming out, Shoei's Neotec 3 is also only DOT compliant in the United States. Both are premium made helmets. I wouldn't have a problem putting my head in either one, and in fact I own both. So let's talk about the helmet itself. So you're going to see here on the bottom, let's throw this up in the donut. You're going to see here in the bottom, you're going to have this vent. In the bottom, this is a 2-position vent. I'm sorry, that's the top vent. This is really hard to see. So you're going to have this vent here on the bottom. It's going to only be in 1 position. This is the chin vent here. There is a filter in there as well that is removable and replaceable. That's going to stop any bugs or any sort of things coming through. Thought that was a nice touch. These vents are pretty big, so that can happen. Vent here on the top is going to bring air up and over the front of the helmet to keep the helmet cool and to keep it fog free. So that works in association with the Pinlock 120. The Pinlock 120 is rated for 120 seconds before fogging in a standing position. So if you're at a stoplight, it's going to provide you with 120 seconds of non-fogging. The nice part that what Schuberth did in this, and I don't know if there is a term for it, but this Pinlock wraps all the way around, and it's extremely large. It does come pre-installed. One of the issues I've had with other helmets is you can see the pin for the Pinlock in your peripheral. It's a nitpick, but it drives me absolutely insane because when you head check, you still have that pin in your way. This does not have that, at least for myself. I don't see the pins, and I find that just a nice touch. Optical clarity of this is considered class 1. It is ridiculously clear. In my opinion, this is the clearest visor you can run. I also have the Schuberth S3. And several times, and even with this helmet, I went to put the shield down thinking it was down, and I whacked myself on the shield because it is actually down. So optical quality of this speaks to their commitment of premium build. So you're going to have the little turbulence here. Again, that's all to keep the wind sleek and to keep the helmet quiet. You're going to have this huge air vent on top. Let's go to the 3 positions. You're going to have the closed, position 1 being medium, position 2 being all the way open. This helmet moves a ton of air. I'm sorry, that's a 3 position and being closed. This helmet moves a ton of air. One of my, probably not the best habit, I tend to ride around with the shield cracked or open in previous helmets. This helmet, I was riding, and I want to say it was about 88 degrees the other day, and once you get about over 25 miles an hour, you can feel the helmet just sucking in air and cooling the top of your head. Now, I ride a Harley-Davidson Road Glide. That is with a lower, very small touring fairing. So it is going to vary from bike to bike. But again, this is based on my personal opinion and what I've experienced. The ventilation, like I said, speaks to it being a premium touring helmet. There is nothing worse than spending all day in a helmet and you're having to constantly crack the visor because you're hot. I haven't experienced that. You'll see in some of the B-roll. I did ride in the rain. I had no issues with fogging from the inside. I actually ride with sunglasses underneath the visor. Didn't have to worry about my glasses fogging as well. That speaks to the air being drawn out and the air coming in the helmet. Air being drawn out. You're going to have these big vents in the back. These vents are not adjustable. You cannot close these vents. They are always pulling air out. So regardless of the temperature that you're running the helmet in, any heat from your head is going to be sucked out the back. The combination of this setup with all 3 open, I found it to be crazy airflow. And it's airflow in a way that you're getting a lot of airflow, but the helmet's designed to still keep the noise down. Again, noise is subjective, but this is what I found. So let's go through the opening. So the pin lock, or rather the pin lock. The helmet opens up here. You got the red latch there. You pop this open. I was never a fan of modular helmets. I had tried some in the past. Matter of fact, I tried one of the Schuberths back probably about 10 years ago when I first started riding. Modular just wasn't my thing. I switched over recently, about a year ago, to the Neotec 3, and I found the modular system to be really great. You go into a gas station, what have you, just pop the lid up, talking to people. It's a really nice feature to have. So you have the position here. You can raise, lower. The one nice thing that this also has is it has a locking mechanism. So if you wanted to ride for whatever reason with the shield or the chin bar all the way up, you can lock the chin bar by this little lever, this little button here, and that locks it, and you can no longer bring it down. That is a requirement, I believe, in Europe. I'm not 100% on that, but that does have the ability to do it. Again, with modular, I do really like this in slow speeds. You can open it up. You're sitting at a stoplight, you can open it up all the way for whatever reason, grab a drink, whatever suits your needs there. You're going to have multiple detents here, as you would expect. You have the levers on both sides for the shield coming up. The detents are pretty significant. They're not as tight as I've seen in other helmets, but I personally haven't experienced in the first 500 miles any issues with the shield dropping down. I've seen complaints of that. I personally haven't experienced it. So, speaking of the shield, one of the things that I think is really cool, I'm a nerd, just go with me, if you have the shield in the up open position like this, and you bring the chin bar up, push it up, drop the chin bar down, the shield stays with it. If you were to have the shield here, and you flip the chin bar up, chin bar comes up, you bring it down, and it stops exactly in the position you left it in. That's a really interesting touch. Schuberth is known for their engineering. I thought it was really cool, and it was definitely worth calling out. So if you have it up, you don't have to worry about it locking in that position. And when you drop it down, the chin bar down, it will stay there. Inside of the helmet is extremely plush. The neck roll on this helmet is very tight. That is to provide, again, the helmet being as quiet as possible. With Schuberth, and quite frankly, with any helmet, go and get yourself sized and get yourself sized properly. There's two reasons for that. One, if the helmet is sized properly, in the unfortunate case that you have an accident, you're going to have the best protection. If you're spending $769 on a helmet, in my opinion, you're an absolute fool if you don't get it sized properly, or for that matter, I don't care if you have a $100 helmet. Get sized properly. It's extremely important. It's important not only for your safety, but it will make the helmet quieter and it will stop the wobble. Therefore, you're having a better and safer experience. This neck roll is tight. If you've never worn a Schuberth before, it's a very much a different experience when you put your head in. It's very tight around your neck, and that's going to prevent the wind noise coming up from the road. It also has this extended chin curtain, so it's a two-layer chin curtain. This part is not removable. This part is. I'm a big fan of chin curtains. Keeps it in tight, keeps the air from coming up in the helmet, bringing that road noise with it. It's also going to keep you warmer in the winter, open your vents, you're cooler in the summertime. Has the ratchet strap here. I know a lot of people, this is sort of a debatable topic in motorcycling. A lot of people will say that they don't like the ratchet system, people that don't like the D-ring system. I think for a modular helmet, especially, you want to have this quick ratcheting system. It makes it very easy to, if you want to fully take it off, if you're touring and you're spending all day in the helmet, it's just a little easier to take on and off. I found the helmet to be extremely comfortable, and it's certainly as comfortable, I would argue, potentially more comfortable than Neotec 3. If you're interested in that, I am going to be doing a head-to-head review against the C5 versus the Shoei Neotec 3. So if that's something you're interested in, please consider subscribing. It goes a long way to helping the channel. And to have an opportunity like this from Schuberth, it's an amazing opportunity for my channel, and I really do appreciate them sending this. The helmet has one other feature that I think is really cool. This comes pre-wired with speakers. It comes pre-wired to allow it to have a microphone, and it has pre-wired to have their comm system in the back. The nice part about having those speakers pre-wired and already in the helmet, if you've ever used a add-on communication system, you tend, and again, it's subjective, you're going to have that pressure in your ears sometimes because the speakers aren't really, depending on the speaker size of their height, it sometimes can hit your ears. These are built in, so when you try the helmet on, it's going to feel exactly the way that it would, regardless of, there won't be any changes if you add speakers. So you have the speakers built in, you have a FM radio antenna, a mesh antenna, as well as a Bluetooth antenna. So this is going to be the part that I find the most interesting as far as comm systems in helmets. The number one pet peeve a lot of people have in any helmet that has a pre-installed system or allows you to drop one in is that you're tied into two camps realistically. In the premium helmet lines, most lines you're tied into two things. You're tied into Cardo or Sena. This helmet has a very unique setup. You have a remote here that you would put in on the side, and then you have the unit and the battery pack that pops into the back. I can show you this one. But this is what makes it really interesting. Schuberth has now come out with the SC Edge communicator along with their Sena communicator. So in this helmet, you can either buy the internal module for Sena or for Cardo. I think that's huge because if you buy other brands of helmets, you're generally locked into Sena. My crew, the people that I ride with, are Cardo people. I've become a Cardo person. I'm a Cardo ambassador. I really like the Cardo system a lot, and I've noticed that all my friends, my riding buddies, pretty much anybody I've seemed to ride in and run into lately has switched to Cardo. You're not tied down to this. Maybe your crew runs Sena. You can stay to Sena. You have the option of using both, and I think that that's incredibly valuable. You're not locked into something, so it allows the helmet to grow, or not to grow, but it allows you to have that option of growth. If you were to say switch and you find that you've decided to go with the other system, you can. This is the Cardo system for it, and I'll show you how slim this is. So you're going to get the remote and the unit. The remote is going to slide out, and I can just pop this in real quick. I am going to be doing a separate video on this, but I want to at least just show you. I'm going to pop this out. It's going to pop the remote in here. It's going to have that very streamlined design. It works extremely well. I've had it. I ran it with my guys recently. They all have Senas. I'm sorry, they have Cardos, and we've had no problem with it. It works with the Cardo app. No problem at all. And you don't have to have another app. It works, like I said, it works if you have multiple Cardos like I do. It will work with them, no problem at all. So with the unit installed, you have this very nice streamlined design. Remote on the side, the unit in the back. Schuberth, like I said, has gone to great lengths to make this helmet quiet and streamlined. With the built-in comm system, I've noticed it's extremely, you don't feel the weight of the comm. It's one of those things, you may never feel it, you may never feel the drag on it, but I personally do feel the difference with the internal module. It's extremely streamlined here on the side. You don't have any wires. And then all you would do in the case of the C5 is it has this little microphone that pops up here. You would pull the insert out, and then the mic goes in here. Super simple to install. I don't think, well, you saw how quick that took. You put the mic in, it's extremely quick. Actually, we can just put the mic in while we're here. I'll show you how quick it is. We're just going to pop out this little plug. We're going to pop in the microphone, and we are good to go. So note to self, doing it backwards is more complicated. So you're just going to pop this in here. Everything is more complicated on YouTube. It looks always easy when you do it the first time. So this is going to pop in. It's going to give you a very nice option. Mic's very small, drops in like that. And then, like I said, you have a full comm system. For touring, obviously, it's something you're going to want to have. The one thing I did leave out is the screen, the drop-down visor. So you have the drop-down visor here. Drops in, drops out very easily. It does have a position, it does have a stopper where you can adjust how closed it becomes, whether it drops down or drops down all the way. The last thing I wanted to show you is how easy it is to take these visors off. So you're going to have a latch here, an arm here on the side. You're going to push those arms up, those levers up rather. You're going to push the helmet to the back, the shield to the back comes right off. We're going to pop on the smoked one. Drop this in here. Drop that in on the side. And there you go. Changed real quick. So if you want to run multiple shields while you're riding, this is the way to do it. This is the easiest that I've seen most shields come off. One of my complaints with the Shoeis are how difficult it is to get off, or certainly takes more time. Another thing to note is because Schuberth is a touring brand, if you're one of these people that likes a dark smoke visor, You're not going to find dark smoke in the way that you would with other brands. This is considered their dark smoke, and you can see that you can see through it. It is not as dark as some of the other brands, but you do have the drop-down shield, the sun shield, that you could put in and have that lowered. I like to ride with an extremely dark shield, but I do ride with sunglasses now, so it's not as big of a deal, but it's something to consider. I believe they come in clear, silver with a light silver tint, this dark smoke, and they come in a yellow. So you're not going to get the options that you would have in other brands, but if you're touring realistically, you're not worried about that. You're going to be running the drop-down visor or the smoked with the drop-down visor and sunglasses. My eyes are extremely sensitive, so it's something that I do. I bought the dark smoke and I run my sunglasses. I haven't had any problems, but it's just something worth pointing out. So this is the C5 modular helmet from Schuberth. In the first 500 miles, I've been really happy with it. It's broken well. It's a really nice fit. I do have to look into changing the cheek pads. They are not quite as snug as I wanted. They also have in this helmet a complete, all the liner is removable, so it's not just the headliner and the cheeks. And you can pull those out and build a more customized fit for you. In a helmet at this price point, you're definitely going to want to have that option. It's going to fit better. The better it fits, the longer you can ride, the safer you can ride. So I think that that's important. That's all I have for the video. I'm going to be doing a review later in the, I guess next year when I've had the helmet for a year and really broken it in and giving you a longer experience, my longer review experience. If you are interested in that, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'd be very interested in knowing if you're running touring helmet, what helmet you run, and what your thoughts are, what the pros and cons of that helmet are. So leave a comment in there. Let me know what you think of not only the C5, what helmet you're running, what you think about the built-in comm. That's all I had for today. Like I said, I am going to be doing a head-to-head review of the C5 versus the Neotec 3. If that's something you're interested in, please keep a lookout on the channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, please remember, you're not alone.